You're just in time to watch JD install a floor pan into his 1980 Pontiac Trans Am. And you must hear this, JD is no body man. Just a guy in his garage doing things his way. So it looks like he was able to score himself a much needed driver's side pan. Stop, Mr. Narrator, and let me talk for like 30 seconds. I want to explain what I'm doing to the 1980 Trans Am today. Okay, go right ahead, Mr. Awkward. The floor is yours. Whatever. Please, JD, don't do what I think you're going to do. Come on, we talked about this. Please stop panicking. So come with me for a second. I want to show you something. What a Midwest car looks like. 1980. Don't worry about the pop can. Now the passenger side of the car has already been repaired. I had to do that one right away because my wife told me if she's gonna get in this car, it better have no holes. I was just gonna leave it because I don't sit there. I don't know. Doesn't bother me. But look at this driver's side. I know it. I know I'm gonna open up another can of worms here. And I'm hoping I can get this done in one video. But I doubt it. I think it's gonna be bad when I open this up. But I do have a floor pan, and believe it or not, this thing actually cost me 90 bucks. I think it's a pretty good deal. It's almost one of those deals you just can't refuse. Now, I don't really think I'm gonna need this whole thing. Actually, for a fact, I know I'm not gonna need the whole thing. I was once told to cut out the least amount of metal in the original car as possible. But then I've also been told just use the whole panel. I don't know. I think every situation is different. I think we're just gonna play this one as it goes along. I usually like to mark out where I'm gonna cut, but I usually never end up using those lines. It's almost like a baseline for me. It really doesn't matter where I cut it, as long as it's not bigger as that pan. And that pan is huge. And look at this JD guy. He's trying to be all professional in front of the camera using one of those machinist rulers. You know what? I doubt it if it's even a machinist ruler. But whatever, JD. It looks good. But hear me out. Don't get angry, you're on film. But hear me out on this one. I try to hide my welds the best I can. Like over here, there's a flange. So over here, there's just gonna be a couple of plug welds, and that's gonna look like factory. And then I try to keep it high up on the tunnel. You don't see it when you go under, or at least it's hidden a little bit. But what I do that's probably different from most is there's a bracket that runs across right here. So I'll cut the metal right here, and you'll never see that weld. You go underneath and you won't see it because it's underneath the bracket, hidden in there. It's less work for me, less grinding I have to do. It just works out. Now, I want to talk about this tool before we begin. This thing is like crazy dangerous. This thing speeds, or it rotates at like 6,000 RPMs. I could be 100% wrong, but that's what I believe it rotates at. Why can't they make them rotate half the speed? It's just way overkill. It's not needed. This blade flies off, hits me, I'm dead. And it's almost impossible to use it with the safety also. You're constantly moving it. I don't know. They gotta come out with something better, or I gotta come up with something. Oh yeah, before I begin, I must warn the two creatures that live in this car. They don't like loud noises, and bad things can happen when they're angry. And please watch this part. This was not staged. This is what happens when this tool explodes. I hate it, and I think this will be the last time I ever use it. Now that is why I hate that tool. All right, we're gonna let JD cool off for a little bit as I narrate the rest of this video. But I do have to admit, that was a close call. And something tells me that wasn't the first time that has happened to him. I hope he's finally learned his lesson from that one. Now he's gonna drill out these spot welds on that bracket he was telling you about earlier. And then what he'll do is he'll place the new panel and then he'll plug weld it back up. And it's gonna look just like factory. Say hello to my little friend. JD has also mentioned to me this is one of his most favorite tools in his garage. Says it makes quick work of whatever he's trying to do. He loves it. Hole in it. Come on. I give up. Come on. Give me that.
Hey, be nice. Smile. You got it broken.
So that wraps it up for this episode. Please follow. And I'll see you on the next one.